Yo, yo, it's JSF. How y'all doing? Hope y'all doing well. I'm here to content farm. I was actually also asked to go over this. I don't remember specifically by who, but so a few weeks ago, well, about a little over a week ago, Rewind put out a tweet, and the tweet said, "These are four mechanic changes that I personally could see benefiting MK11 tremendously. Not here to bash the game, only want the game to be better is all." Now, I think this is a great post. The problem is he already has to preface it, right? He has to say, "Hey, I'm not here to bash the game." Like, that's a whole conversation in itself, right? And I'm not mad at him for that. That's a sign of the community being like, if you say anything is wrong, like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to really, really walk on eggshells, which is like nuts, right? Which is part of why I exist, to just be the voice to say, "Yo, this sucks. This is stupid." Because people like Rewind with actual clout and actual relationships can only say so much, or will only say so much. I'm not gonna say can. I'm gonna say will. Like, they don't want to go crazy. But anyway, the four major changes that he wanted to add to MK11 were buffs to anti-airs or make jump-ins weaker, remove pushback on all fatal blows, remove flawless blocking during hit stun, which is flawless blocking on hit, remove regenerating meter. Now, I'm gonna go over all of these specifically, but my big question and my big point is, would these changes fix MK11, right? Because we all know MK11 these changes. I've been saying it for over a year now. It's nice to see other people finally saying it and pro players starting to say it. I mean, shout out to Dragon. He was one of the first ones to be like, "Nah, we need a lot of changes here." So it's cool that they finally came around on that. It's just funny that I get a lot of flack, but that's not important. As far as the first change, buffs to anti-airs or make jump-ins weaker, I think this is the right idea, slightly the wrong approach. As you guys, if you guys been following this game since it was out, right? Since this game first came out, have you been following like the balance history and the different versions of the game? They already nerfed jump-ins, so like making jump-ins weaker is not really the problem, right? Because jump-ins they've already been nerfed, like they already did that, and it didn't fix anything. So this is why I say it has the wrong approach. But the idea is right. You should be able to anti-air. In this game, this is probably the only fighting game that you can't anti-air in. Maybe like Marvel vs. Capcom or something. But this is like the only 1v1 fighting game where you literally cannot anti-air. Like, you can't do it. It's not, and I know some people are like, "What do you mean? You can anti-air with this character?" It's like, sure, in some matchups, but if I pick Cabal, fam, I've been playing Cabal a lot lately. If I pick Cabal, you can't anti-air me. Even if you know how to anti-air, even if you know I'm gonna jump, I have like 5 different options in the air. Like, you can't, there is no reliable way to anti-air. There is no way to do it in this game. And obviously that's a major issue, but I think the way to fix it is not that. I think you have 2 options. You can either do one or do both. Option 1 is you have to make jumps more floaty. You have to add more like recovery to jumping, right? Characters need to be in the air for longer. It needs more startup, it needs more recovery. I think in this game, you're treated as airborne like frame 2 or 3. Either it jumps in this game are like 3 frames, right? You know the fastest buttons in RS games are 6 frames or 7 frames. Jumps are 3 frames. So on frame 3, I'm in the air. So if you hit me, I get hit, like I get juggled like I'm in the air. And if you do a combo string with a lot of recovery, like Joker, for example, right? Let's say I'm trying to dash up and pressure somebody on wake up, right? They don't have any meter. If they're holding up and I'm 3 frames off and they jump, they can fall out, and I do my fastest mid string, right? Forward 1. If I do the string, right? If I commit to it, because on block it's completely safe. You want to commit to the full string is what you should do. If you catch them in the air, they will fall out of the combo. You will still be in recovery. They will get up in time to punish you for trying to pressure them when they have no meter when they're knocked down, and you just do your best mid string. You are punishable. That's a huge issue. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to show you. Don't worry about it. But the issue is not just buff anti-airs. Yes, I think and this is the second option, is add upper body or head invincibility to down 2s. That way, that gives us a reason to always use down 2s. For the characters that don't have Jade's down 2, right? Give us all, but I'm just saying, this way other characters can anti-air consistently. Give us all an uppercut. like a real one. So we're invincible to air attacks if we uppercut. I think that's perfectly fine. It's already in other games. Like, it already exists. Like, Guilty Gear has it, Dragon Ball has it, Street Fighter has it. Like, this is like one of the only games that doesn't have that. So I think you can either make jumps more floaty, or you can give invincibility to anti-air attacks, or both. You can definitely do both. Like, jumping shouldn't be strong. It shouldn't be as strong as it is. And for the people that think, oh, if you make jumping slower, then you won't be able to jump it off, fam. Like I said before, in Killer Instinct, jumps are 48 frames. I'm pretty sure they're 24 in this game. You guys can try to test it if you want. In Killer Instinct, it flat out tells you they're 48 frames. People still jump in that game. In Street Fighter, they're mad slow too. And people still jump in that game. Even at pro level, it doesn't happen often, but it still happens, right? It's not impossible to do, even at the absolute highest level. But guess what? If you're a low level player who's just trying to jump around nonstop, yeah, you're gonna get smoked. But you deserve to get smoked for that. Anyway, remove pushback on all fatal blows with the second change Rewind had, and I have no issue with that. That is 1000% correct. That should happen. That would help improve the game for sure. Remove flawless blocking during hit stun, flawless block on hit. Now, I don't disagree with this at all, by the way. You should not be able to flawless block while you're in hit stun. Like, while you're, like, you know what I mean? If I hit you and then I'm plus 15 and then I go into like my 10 frame mid, you should not be able to reversal flawless block up 3. I agree, but I don't think this change alone is like really gonna fix anything about the game. Like, this change would change the game at the highest level, because people are only doing this at really high level. Like, at low level and mid level, this isn't happening. It's just not. Flawless blocking is happening. Flawless blocking up 2 and up 3 is happening. Sometimes reversal flawless block is happening. And if you don't know what I mean by reversal flawless block, I mean they do something minus, and then when you take your turn back, they flawless block you and do that. I don't like that either, honestly, but it does take meter to do. Like, I don't mean you do something with a gap. I mean, I do my string, I'm -5 or something, right? Or I do my string, I'm -6. My turn's over, because no matter what I press, his button will beat mine. Right? No matter what I press, my turn's over, right? Because I'm -6, right? So I do that. Instead of pressing a button, I know he's going to press a down 1 or a 10 frame mid. And I just flawless block, reversal, flawless block, up 3. And now it's my turn again. I don't like that either. But I don't think that like fixes the game, right? At the highest level, it'll make a difference, and I understand Rewind's a super high level player, but it won't fix any of the major issues with this game. So that's my only issue with that. But yeah, it shouldn't be in the game. I agree. And then his last change was remove regenerating meter. Now, obviously, I agree with this as well. But I don't even think this would fix like anything, right? It would make breakaway less of a thing if you had to work to gain it, but defensive meter regenerating isn't really a new thing. Like, MKX has stamina and it kind of regenerated. So like, even Rewind even said, like, if the defensive meter regenerated, that would be okay, but the offense shouldn't. And I agree, offensive meter shouldn't just regenerate all the time, but you're gonna get the meter regardless if you're like whiffing specials, if you're getting hit, if you're hitting them. So they're still gonna have offensive meter. I don't think this will really change much, right? If you got rid of this. The changes that I think would make it more interesting is if you started off with no meter. Like, if round start, nobody had any meter, and whoever landed the first hit got a bar meter, and your meter didn't start regenerating until that first hit happened. Like, imagine round start, nobody has any meter, nobody's meter's going up until somebody gets hit. He gets a full bar meter, then the second person's meter starts to generate slowly. Now, I still don't love the idea of meter just generating by itself, but I think this is a more like likely realistic change they can do to the game, because that's a simple change, right? Instead of going from full meter around start, go to no meter, right? And I think like that would incentivize you to want to get the first hit, and then if you do earn that hit, they can't just break immediately. Because another thing in this game is when you land your first hit or whatever, once you get a hit on your opponent, it becomes, well, are they gonna break? Do you cut your combo short and try to armor break, or do you just go for the full combo, potentially get punished, etc. So I don't think that's a bad change, but I don't think it's one that's gonna fix the game. So all in all, I do think Rewind's got some good changes, some good ideas, but I don't think they will fix the game, right? And that's my only thing here. Like, obviously the game needs changes. We can all propose, hey, that would be a cool change, that would be a cool change, but what would fix the game? Like, this doesn't address breakaway really at all, right? It doesn't address some of the wilder things in the game, some of the inconsistencies. It doesn't address pokes at all, right? Like I think the things that you really like, it addresses anti-airs, which is great. You know, but I think if you fix just being in the air, you just make jumping and being in the air more floaty. That in itself could nerf breakaway, which it could do if you do that change. If you nerf pokes, so like you can't do a down four that hits me from round start and be minus, you know, 5 or something. Like if it's got that much range and pushback, it needs to be like minus 10, minus 11. Like Joker's down four, it's like minus 11 or minus 12, right? And he doesn't even have anything really good to cancel into. He can do back forward 4, right? Like, so, you know what I mean? Like, it should be more like more of that. Less of your down 4 being minus 5 and hitting from round starters with hella pushback, like Jade or Shang or something like that. Like, just stuff like that, because then that makes pokes less abusable. So people can't just mash down 4 all the time and run a flowchart like they do. I think stuff like changes like that would benefit the game so much more. Like that, anti-airs, you know, obviously stuff like that. But anyway, I do think, like I said, Rewind got some good changes. I don't think they will fix the game though, but he's on the right track. And here's the thing, like even in Rewind's video, he said like, oh man, it's sometimes hard for the developer to see who are the scrubs saying change things and who are the good players saying change things. Obviously, yeah, but the problem with that is you should have people that work in the studio that understand fighting games at a high level, at a mid level, you know what I mean? And even low level, but everybody understands at a low level. But I mean, like high and mid level, like knowledge is needed for a fighting game dev, and they don't really have it in other realms. So that's what kind of sucks. So they can't recognize that, like, hey, people want this to change, or they don't want the game to be good competitively. They want people to jump around like maniacs. I mean, they did say they love the big boot. So, you know, who knows? But anyway, that's all I got for y'all. If y'all enjoying the content, please subscribe. About to hit 1,500. Man, I appreciate the hell out of every single one of y'all. So thank everybody for watching. Other than that, yeah, man, just stay safe. You know, the world opening back up, so be careful, have fun, and I'm gonna get out of here. JSF, I'm out. Peace.